by SS Junior, iGroup, and IES Research. My name is Iris Xu from IES Research, and I'm happy to be the facilitator of the day. Now, this session is the second of a series of PPP events from ACS publication. PPP event stands for Platform, Product, and Publishing. And this is an event branding from ACS Publications aiming to help young researchers or early career researchers to upskill their research capability and helping them to publish better and also help them to accelerate their research capabilities and hoping to accelerate their research career. Now, today we're very honored to have three speakers with us. Professor Mohammed Mansour Khan from UBD. Hello, Professor Mansour.
Hello. Good morning.
Very good morning. And we have Dr. Sheila Chandran from Faculty of Science, UTN. Hello, Dr. Sheila.
Hello. Good morning, Iris.
Good morning. And Dr. Wong Wei Fu from IES Research iGroup.
Hi. Good morning, everyone.
Right. Before we actually started, because I think because this is actually our second event, but what we are going to do is we will start with a few questions, which is frequently asked by our participants in the past events. But because I think the research skill nowadays, research is no longer just sitting at the back of the desk and doing their own stuff, but research is nowadays actually working with different collaborators, working with different sectors, and working with different subject disciplines so that we can have a better understanding and an overall picture of the world. So that is why we have this topic as bridging disciplines. And in this event, actually, Dr. Mansour, Dr. Sheila, and Dr. Wei Fu will share their personal experiences on how to collaborate with other subject disciplines, with other sectors, and helping young researchers to accelerate their capability and expand the visions better. So perhaps first question that we are going to discuss and ask our speakers to share their thoughts is, how do cross-disciplinary skills help young researchers publish in the best possible way? Now, this question, I would like to have Dr. Sheila as our first one to give us your idea and your experiences about how multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary skills may be able to help you as well as help those young researchers.
So, okay, thank you very much, Iris. Okay, so for me, I consider myself to be a young researcher, although not that young in age, but I consider myself to be a young researcher because I'm quite new in my career. So for me, there are 7 points that I wanted to touch for these cross-disciplinary skills. So one, I think that it helps in broader perspective and innovation. So cross-disciplinary skills allow researchers to view problems from multiple angles, fostering innovative solutions and novel approaches. So it's also integrate concepts from different fields that can lead to groundbreaking studies that attract high impact journals. So the second point that I would like to touch is on the enhanced collaboration. So skills across discipline made it easier for researchers to collaborate with experts from other fields, leading to richer, more comprehensive research output. Okay, so collaborative projects often results in publication that are high impact interdisciplinary journals. Okay. So the third point that I would like to touch on is on the improved problem-solving abilities. So exposure to different methodologies, techniques enhances problem-solving capabilities, making research more robust and thorough. So this adaptability is highly valued in the review process, leading to higher acceptance rates. Okay, and next, and this is something very important, I think, is for better communication. So understanding various disciplines improve the ability to to communicate complex ideas clearly and effectively to a broader audience, including reviewers and editors from diverse backgrounds. At the same time, this improves the accessibility of research and makes it more appealing to a wider audience. Okay. And next is something also very important and very relevant to most young researchers is the increased funding opportunities. So cross-disciplinary research often attracts more funding due to its innovative nature and potential for broader impact. So securing funding can facilitate higher quality research, leading to better publication opportunities. So for example, as me, I'm a chemist, so I usually focus on funding opportunities that are specific to my field. But by embracing cross-disciplinary work, I've unlocked a wealth of new funding opportunities, okay? And it also helped us in staying ahead of the trend. So knowledge of multiple fields allows researchers to stay ahead of emerging trends and integrate novel techniques and concepts into their work. And finally, an expanded skill set. So cross-disciplinary skill expand the researcher's toolkit and enabling the use of a variety of research methods and analytical tools. So this versatility is advantageous in conducting comprehensive studies that meet high publication standard. So I hope these 7 points answer the question that you're asking.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sheila. As a chemist, my question is, for example, you talk about funding opportunities. So you look into those funding opportunities in chemistry, but is there any other fields that you will also look into?
Yeah, so yes, because in the past, when I first started, I thought I could only look at those in chemistry, in fundamental work. But nowadays, I've started exploring, for example, engineering. That sort of like overlap a little bit with fundamental science and also some in the field of the application-wise, which traditionally scientists, I mean, the fundamental scientists do not think of. But, you know, in order to secure the money and also this cross-disciplinary collaboration helped me in trying out for all these different funding opportunities.
Right, and when you apply for the fundings, the communication skills will get into the picture because you need to communicate what you learned and what your idea is to those people in different fields, right?
Definitely, we need to convince them to give us the money.
Exactly. Okay, I think thank you very much, Dr. Sheila. And let's hear some more from Dr. Mansu, perhaps.
Okay, thank you, Arish. So before I take this question, first I would like to go back to the main theme of today's talk. That is the bridging discipline. So bridging discipline, if you see, the bridging discipline is very, very important nowadays. If you are working in your own field, sometimes it is very challenging. So what we need to do, we have to bridge, we have to connect with the others. So that is the title of today's talk, okay? And now coming to the question here, if you see the how do cross-disciplinary skill helps young researchers publish in the best possible way. So when you talk about the publishing, before publishing, there are many things that we have to, as a researcher, you have to handle. It's not only that at first instant you will start publishing. Before publishing, what you need to do, you have to establish your work. That is very, very important. You have to understand your work. Okay, so if you see the first bullet that I've written here, it is an approach that brings together experts from different fields to work on a common problem or goal. So with the cross-disciplinary or with the collaboration from the different people, we can work on a common problem and we can solve that issue. Cross-disciplinary skills, also known as the soft skill or interpersonal skills. Okay, with these skills, if you start developing the cross-disciplinary skills, so you can develop yourself not only in your field but from the other fields also. So it can help you to boost in your to understand your field as well as the other field to whom you are collaborating. So It enables the researchers to reach a wider audience and communicate diverse viewpoints. So if you have more and more collaboration, if you are connected with the more and more groups, so you can communicate with them, you can share ideas. So in my opinion, that the cross-disciplinary skills are very, very helpful if you are young, and it will be helpful to develop and learn the fundamentals. So if you see the cross-disciplinary skills, it is consider different types. The first one, you can see the multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. Okay, so multidisciplinary means, for example, I'm a chemist. So if I will only work in the chemistry field, sometimes it is very challenging, because nowadays, for example, if we are working on a particular material, so we need to find it's a very suitable or multiple application. What we call it, a smart material that can have a many application. So for that, what we need, we cannot do each and everything in our own laboratories. So we need the help of the other researchers who can help us to explore the possible application of the material. So that's why we need to collaborate with the other field, maybe from any field. For example, I'm the chemistry, so and sometimes I need to collaborate with the people from the physics, or from the biology, or from the health science, or for the other faculties to understand that. The similar thing, it goes to the interdisciplinary also. Sometimes we find the people from our own field to work on that. And transdisciplinary, this field is very, very important. Initially, when we start working, so what we do, we work on a fundamental things. And then after that, we need to bring the industries and other people in to go for more and more applied fields. So the cross-disciplinary skills equip you with various skills. One of them can be as the question, if you see the publication, because if you are young researchers, it is very difficult the first instant to go for the direct publication. So it develops cooperation and sharing skills. It enhances your specialization in your field. So I have covered the questions.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Mansu. So would you like to share a little bit more about your personal experiences on how you develop and these skills to, for these cross-disciplinary skills in your work?
Yeah. So as I've told you that we need to collaborate. Collaboration is the only key to learn and develop. Okay. So we need to collaborate from our own departments, our own from the chemists or material scientists, or from the other field. It depends on the project that we are working. Sometimes we need to collaborate with the health science researchers. Sometimes we need to collaborate with the biology, or even very recently we have started working on different type of the modeling using the AI, different type of AI applications. So nowadays we are working with the data science people, because we are not expertise in the data science or the AI. So if really you want to explore something, then we need to go for the cross-disciplinary collaborations. So in that way, we are developing.
So for example, UBD is having a platform to help these researchers to engage with each other, or you just, you have your own way of identifying who to work with?
I mean, both the things are there. We have the research platforms, so people can communicate, as well as per our interest. I mean, we know that who is working in which field. Accordingly, we can approach and discuss. So both the possibilities are there.
Right. So I would like to take the question to Dr. Sheila. Is UTN have something like this, similar like a platform, or you also elaborate or leverage on personal relationship to identify those collaborators?
Okay, so for UTM, we also have platforms like that, but of course, it first of all depends on a personal connection. So if you know someone or what. The other thing is, of course, we have a very good research environment here, something called UTM Nexus, where they actually connect and they showcase different people in what field and how you can collaborate. And most of our research grants actually nowadays are no longer single disciplinary. So in order to apply for that, to start with, you would have to have collaborators in different fields, in different institutions, and also in industry. So yes, we are also highly encouraged to do what Prof. Mansur said just now.
Right. And I think Dr. Mansur also mentioned about multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. And these are always concepts that confuse me, but I think Dr. Mansur has explained that quite clear. And I think our next speaker who I would like to ask to share his opinion is Dr. Wei Fu, and I think he also touches on this a little bit. So Dr. Wei Fu, would you like to share your thoughts?
Oh, sure. I mean, firstly, I have to say that I like to be young because we are talking about young researcher, but I'm no longer young. So I thought I want to share more like Dr. Sheila earlier on, a bit on the experience. I mean, I know the question is about how you use the cross-disciplinary scale for publishing, but I think this is a lifelong learning scale. And I have to say that it is a young researcher, something you have to start learning from now. I could share my experience for 3 stages of my life. I mean, the first one is when I'm doing my PhD in University of Manchester, and we do have every month a section to share with other departments about our research. So I thought I'm very smart. I say, well, my research is about polymeric fiber to study the molecular structure using X-ray spectroscopy, Raman spectroscopy, electron microscope, kind of trying to show off, right? Then after, at the end of it, someone asking and say, I don't really know what you're talking about. Can you tell me what all this, I mean, what are you studying all this for, And then he's kind enough to say that, by the way, I'm actually doing engineering, civil engineering. So I'm not sure why you're here. I mean, I'm not sure why I'm here to listen to you. But like, wow, gee, this guy must be pretty nasty. But it's an experience. You know that you have an audience came all the way to listen to you, and you're talking about all your jargon. How many people know what you're talking about? And then you probably realize at the end of the day, you cannot find collaboration, because any collaboration, you have to be some mutual interest. And at the end, you're talking about cross-disciplinary, multidisciplinary. Now, when I work in the second stage of my life, I was working in the semiconductor. Again, it's very, very technology-based industry. Now, you have to work with different departments. Someone doing photolithography, someone doing etching and stuff like that. They are all from different backgrounds. When you start working with these people, you have to connect with them. You cannot walk in and think that you are the molecular chemistry specialist. Like, only I talk, you don't talk, that kind of thing. It will never work. Now, today, I'm in the scholarly communication business. So in a way that I'm dealing with all people. I'm dealing with researcher, I'm dealing with funder, I'm dealing with research authors, I'm dealing with vice chancellor. I'm talking with businessmen by asking me and say that I'm spending 30 minutes with you, tell me why you are here. And you need to answer that. Well, you think researchers don't need money? Well, ask Dr. Sheila, she tell you why she need money. Because we need to do fundraising. So yes, I think the multidisciplinary skill is essential. But would that be something you can acquire immediately? No. You have to start from young researcher. Start from today. And it's good you specialize in the topic in chemistry, but you have to start bridging out. In fact, you look at all the Nobel laureate in the recent years, most of them are very multidisciplinary. So I think that is the way I'm looking at the question. Thanks for asking, Iris.
Thank you, Dr. Wei Fu. In your, I'm looking at your slides now. So, for example, if we are studying chemistry and we think that we could talk to other researchers from physics or engineering, but do we need to understand what level of knowledge do we need to have first before we talk to, for example, like engineering?
Oh, okay. You're pushing me to answer my second question, the second slide. But anyway, I can jump into that. There is always a T shape, a T. You know what T? T is you have a horizontal line and the vertical line. Now, the vertical line is where you're specialized in. You know why we are doing a PhD? We're doing a PhD to study something that nobody knows why you spend time to doing. You study the small little molecule, you study the small little cell and stuff like that. Now, you go and tell your grandma and grandpa, they say, don't waste time on that. But then they like you to be called a doctor, this, doctor, that. But to really be successful in your career as a researcher in any places, I guess particularly in today's world, you need to have widened your knowledge. You don't need to be very in-depth, but you really got to know enough. For example, I think today we're all talking about artificial intelligence, AI. That's pretty sexy, right? Anytime you say AI, everybody like, oh yeah, I want to know about it. But it is a very, very, very multidisciplinary subject. It starts from programming, computer science, language, linguistics, a bunch of stuff, blend them together. So in Malaysia, that's called rojak, you add up together. So that is actually something that we need to prepare for. I mean, in today's, when you go out and work, you say you do not know AI, you might have a problem because even the auntie cleaner will know what's AI. So you better know AI. So I would say that you don't need to know everything. Honestly, I'm not, I have to confess that I'm not the AI guy. I'm not the big language or large language modeling programmer. I'm not. But I'm the user. And probably I can confess that I'm pretty much a power user for ChatGPT, for many other AI stuff. And that I think is essential.
Okay, I think Dr. Weifu has been in this VPP event for so many times, and he kind of covered every question that we intend to ask. But never mind. I think because all participants are actually, many of them are joining us at the first time, so I will ask Dr. Weifu to talk a little bit more about his idea on, for example, the T-shape and also the how to leverage on today's technology in the later stage of our discussion later. So I think we covered quite thorough about the cross-disciplinary skills, and I think that would lead us to our next questions. So cross-disciplinary, I'm sure it is not only a writing skill, but how to establish or how to train ourselves to acquire those cross-disciplinary skill. I think it still needs a lot of understanding and practice. So for this question, number 2 is, do you think cross-disciplinary skill is solely a writing skill, or is it more like a perspective of articulating? So for this question, I would like to have Dr. Mansu to share his thoughts first. Dr. Mansu? Dr. Mansu, you're mute.
Yeah. We'll see the question here. Do you think the cross-disciplinary skill is solely a writing skill, or is it more a perspective articulate? So if you see my answer here, or my opinion here, I'll say is no. Okay. The reason is that here, it is not only the writing or the speaking skill, rather it builds the overall personality. So if you're working alone, maybe the overall development is difficult. But if you collaborate, if you have the cross-disciplinary connections, then you can develop overall. So that is the first response to this question here. Okay, and cross-disciplinary, if it's the skill, is not only the writing. I'll go back to the question number 1. Question number 1 was that how it helps the young researchers to publish. But my concern is here that publication is in research publication is I will not say the last, but second last step. Before that, what you need to do, you need to plan the research, you need to perform the research, you will get the result, you have to analyze the result, and then data interpretation, And after that, only it comes the writing and publishing. Okay, so here, as you said that you're asking the question is that writing. So yeah, of course, writing is there, but before writing, what you need to do, the young researcher, they have to understand the work. They should have a good result. If you have a good result, only then you can write a good manuscript. Until unless you don't have a very good plan, good result, the writing will be very difficult, and of course, then the publication will be very challenging. So for that, what you need first, you should have a good result. To have a good result, what you need to do, you should have a good collaboration, okay, from different multidisciplinary fields. And then once you have the result, then you can develop the writing skill. And if you see what is writing, writing is an art that you have to learn, that you have to develop, okay. And for the beginners, I think it is quite challenging. Because for writing, what you need to know the fundamental of your subject. If you know the fundamental of subject, only then you can write a good paper, good manuscript. So for that, what you need to do, you have to make the collaborations, and you have to understand your field. Okay, so if you see the second point, it enhances your specialization and expertise. So you have the cross-disciplinary collaborations, so it will help you to understand your field and the field that you are going to work. Only then it can help you in the writing. Otherwise, it will be difficult. It helps in connecting people and learning from each other. So we learn from each other. For example, in today's workshop, webinar, what we are doing, we're learning from each other. Okay, so in that way, you can develop in your respective fields. So it helps to become more flexible. Sometimes when the student they enter the research, sometimes it's very difficult. So, but once you start developing learning, then you will become more flexible. So overall, it encourages the development of transferable skills such as critical thinking. That's very important in research. Critical thinking, effective communication, of course, writing. And then adaptability, you have to adopt the environment. For example, if you're working in one lab, and you have the collaboration, if you're going to the other lab, every lab their own environment. You need to adopt that. Or you're going from one country to another country, so you have to adopt the environment there, the working culture and all. Okay, and of course it helps you in the collaborations. So I'll say that the cross-disciplinary skills are very important. If you can adopt this one, then it will help you to perform, to plan a good research, to execute the research. Then, of course, after that, the interpretation skill and writing skill, finally publish. So hope I have answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mansu, because in my experiences, I mean, I work in IES research, and we actually have talked in our work, we talk to a lot of young researchers on their research work and also the challenges of their research. Many of them has expressed their concerns because their primary goal is to get some papers published. So I guess that is the reason why we put writing skill as a very important skill for researchers, because because they have done everything necessary in conducting their research. However, sometimes it is also very challenging for them to put that into writing, and not to mention how to select a good journals to publish that paper. So I guess that is one of the pressure, publish or perish. That is something that especially young researchers are facing. Although the trend has, moved a bit, some countries or some universities may not see the number of publications as the most important criteria of the advancing the career, but still some countries or some universities are still doing that. So so that is why I think for them, writing skill is something that also needs to learn seriously so that they can publish in a better journal and then, of course, advance their career. And I think perhaps Dr. Sheila, I can feel that you also feel the pressure because you're nodding. So maybe you would like to share a little bit about your thoughts.
Okay, so do I share about one or do I jump?
Yes,
I'll still
please.
jump straight there. Okay,
Yeah.
so I totally agree with what Prof. Mansur said. So about the writing and also what you said, the pressure. I definitely feel it. I'm definitely feeling it. So because whatever you want to say, you want to do this, you want to do that, at the end of the day, we still have to fulfill our KPIs. So being in a research university in Malaysia also, we have certain KPIs that we have to fulfill, and a very big part is publication. So to answer this question, so do I think cross-disciplinary skill is only a writing skill? Short answer, no. And I'm sure most of you, if not all, agree with me. So what am I going to answer? Might have some overlap with what Prof. Mansur said earlier, but these are the points that I would like to touch on. First of all, it is obviously beyond writing. So cross-disciplinary skills involve understanding and integrating concepts from different fields. Okay, and it is important to be able to synthesize and apply a diverse knowledge to research problems. Okay, and it's also about the perspective of articulation. So cross-disciplinary skills also involve how researchers think about and approach problems. So we should be able to frame research questions and hypotheses in a way that draw multiple disciplines. So another one, which we touched on before this, is the communication skill. So effective communication of a complex and interdisciplinary idea is crucial, like what Dr. Wong said earlier. It's no use that we are an expert in something, but other people cannot understand what we are doing. Okay, so clarity in explaining how different disciplines interrelate and also contribute to the research is definitely crucial. Okay, so my next point is on the critical thinking and adaptability. So the role of critical thinking in evaluating information from different fields is also very essential. So we need adaptability in applying various methodologies and approaches from different disciplines. Okay, and of course, collaboration and networking. So I don't think I need to stress the importance of collaborating with researchers from other disciplines. So various benefits can be obtained by building a network of diverse experts to enhance research quality. So allow me to share a personal example to illustrate the importance of cross-disciplinary skills. So as a chemist, specializing in photocatalysis and heterogeneous catalysts, so my work traditionally been far removed from medical research. However, having lost my father to cancer, I've always felt a deep desire to contribute to cancer research. So this year, I finally took the leap to collaborate with colleagues in biology to explore the use of my materials for anti-cancer application. While our research is still in its very early stages, I'm incredibly grateful to have begun this journey. For me, this experience truly underscores the value of cross-disciplinary collaboration and how it can open new avenues for meaningful contribution. So I hope I answered that question. Iris?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Sheila, for sharing. And I think the personal experience is actually quite fit into the overall and also the all the points that you point out. And I think that is indeed very important to communicate effectively and also knowing what other people think so that you can communicate in a more effective way. So in this from this perspective, I would like to hear more from Dr. Wei Fu.
Sure. I guess Dr. Mansuk and Dr. Sheila already say most of the thing. So I have to say that I agree all the above mentioned. But one of the things I thought I could kind of help to explore further is that I think Dr. Sheila mentioned about critical thinking and adaptability. That kind of go back that skill set. I think you really have to have that T-shaped scale, which widen your knowledge as much as possible. Because science today is so multidisciplinary that you really have no choice. I think, for example, I look at COVID-19. I mean, pretty much you can tell that it is not about vaccine. It's not about medical. In fact, it turned out it's more about social science, I think. The human behavior have to control, right? And that has actually become something that for us to learn and study for any pandemic in the future and many more other cases. But one of the things that I think is always good to say that we have to be good critical thinking, we have to be able to adaptable. When I was a young researcher in the early day, I had this problem. How to start? How to begin? So I signed up a PhD program and I met up with my supervisor. And he told me that his research is about study this whole molecular thing, and study what elastic scattering under, Raman spectroscopy, under tension and blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, boss, I don't really even know what you're talking about, you see. Now, after a few months, I went back to see him. I'm like, okay, I roughly know what you're doing. I don't even know why you're doing that, you see. He's kind of staring at me like, why don't you go and check it out with the, other student? I'm like, okay, because my boss is a British, sometimes the way they talk through the nose, you don't even know what they're talking. I'm like, okay, fine. The problem is that when you do a PhD program, you sign out a lot of these whole projects. They're all so minute. You're talking about molecule, you're talking about cell and things like that. Big picture, you don't even know why you're doing that. And you have to start figuring out. I think some of those are probably more straightforward. For example, related to cancer, I guess that is probably more straightforward. But some of the things really, really out of your mind, like, I don't even know why to study that. And it really takes a while to figure out the big picture. You start to cross-disciplinary with other things. Then you kind of see that, wow, that's the impact of it. If you don't do this, that will never happen. And subsequently, nothing will happen. That sort of thing. So you have to find all this connection. And all this pretty much you're crossing different disciplines to make things happen. So, for example, you look at COVID-19. It's not just people get vaccinated. People still have to take a prevention. People still do a lot of things to come along with it. So you have to start thinking about it. I think as a young researcher, you must get to know what you're doing and how that related to other big pictures. And most likely some of the things from a different discipline. I would say that would be a good starting point. If you don't think like that, your whole job is just about doing a project, publishing. Sometimes you don't even know why you got a PhD.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Wei Fu. So I think based on these perspective and answers, all three of you gave us, I started to think that cross-disciplinary skill is not only a perspective of articulating, but it is rather a mindset. So of course you need to try to obtain a lot of skills and knowledge, but as long as you have the mindset, and then eventually all the skills and all the knowledge will come into the picture for you to, adjust your way of communication and then know more people from different subject disciplines, and then try to sharpen your thoughts on how to identify those topics of the potential research area, etc. So it is actually, to me, sounds like a mindset and the fundamental mindset to the research skills.
Hey, don't mind I add on is saying that because even this is happening quite often in the commercial world. I think some of you know organizations like Hewlett Packard, IBM in the early day. They are very siloed. They build, computer, they build, server, they build this. In fact, I think most people know that Hewlett Packard actually they do have a department called Enterprise Solution. You know what this department is doing? They basically work with all other departments to come up with a solution so that they can sell a solution to a customer. And a solution is a combination of different technology. It's not one technology. And this is the kind of thing that I think sometimes the problem in university because things are quite siloed. And I think individual researchers need to start to work with different disciplinary experts to get into a solution. And whatever solution is going to be impactful to the society. And I think that's basically what we're talking about.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Wei Fu. And because I think this to help us achieve the goal of working with different collaborators and also to obtain more knowledge so that we can talk to others. I think nowadays we have a lot of technology to help us achieving that. So this leads to the third question. So how can your technologies or tools like AI tools or ChatGPT will helping or aid researchers in enhancing these skills to publish or to communicate more with other disciplines. So for this question, I would like Dr. Wei Fu to share your thoughts first.
Sure. Well, firstly, I would like to ask, most of the audience here is that, do you use ChatGPT? Well, don't answer me, but if you try to attempt or you attempt to say no, then I would say you're trying to be not too honest to yourself. I think ChatGPT is such a temptation. I have to say the word temptation because you're like, wow, if you don't use it, you're like so far behind it. It's so magical, right? You ask anything, like boom, So now you can save a lot of trouble doing your homework assignment. If your supervisor say write a summary, boom, 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 you got something sent out, quite easily. Now, I think it's a good tool, and it is not something that designed, for you to cheat or deceive people. So in a way that you have to know how to use it properly. It's like a knife, double-edged sword, that kind of thing. You're supposed to cut apple, you're not supposed to kill yourself, that kind of stuff. So ChatGPT is a good tool, but you also need to know that the way they crawl data is all over the places. And when you start to think about data today, there are fake news, there are all kind of stuff. They are not reliable. They may not even have references, stuff like that. So you have to make your own decision how to use it. Of course, there are also good AI too, not ChatGPT, but professional one. They based upon, peer review data information. Scientists, you should know what's peer review information because this is something that expert review and prove to be, at least, have to say, accurate at the moment of time. So I would say that definitely researchers should use ChatGPT, use AI too, not only just to deepen your knowledge, but also broaden it. I use that very much for the broaden it because some of the things I'm not familiar with, I tend to do a quick check and figure out what it is. A lot more faster actually, because then you go and start digging out stuff. Because for example, when I started doing my PhD program, one of the things I'm supposed to figure out is laser technology, and because it's essential for my work. Now I know nothing about laser, so I spent easily 3 to 4 months to figure out what's laser technology. I imagine if I have AI technology today and Google and things like that, I probably could figure that out within maybe 1 or 2 hours. That's a lot more quicker. So I really envy what you guys having. So young researcher, please work harder. Save our world. We need you.
Thank you, Dr. Wei Fu. I also have the same comment earlier from one of my colleagues, and she shared her experiences on how she wrote her PhD thesis back in the old days, probably 15 years ago. And she said that because at that moment there's no such tool as a rifle or other or Grammarly. So what she does is she look into those theses or dissertations and take those sentences that sounds very professional and put it into her little notebook. And where she write her thesis, she will select some of the sentences or structures from her notebook and apply to her writings. And if she had Grammarly or Rifle at that time, then it will save her a lot of time. That is a quote from her. So I guess these tools will be able to help accelerate or save a lot of time for young researchers.
Yeah, I can't agree with that. And I think that one thing to add on is that someone who use AI too, for example, Grammarly, you better be sure your English is quite good. I really have to say that. Because if your English is bad and you use Grammarly, you're going to be a disaster. Because Grammarly is giving you option and make a decision. And your English is so bad, you can't even make a decision. You just copy and paste. I don't even know you're writing anything you understand or not. That's a problem. So I think using AI tool, you do have certain decent knowledge to use a tool because it helps you to have more choices, to help you to find out more information quicker, and then you have to make a decision. It's not supposed to like give you the answer and copy and paste.
Right. I guess we need to have also have enough background knowledge so that we can identify which are the truths and which are not, or what are the good things or what are not from those AI tools. Right. So maybe Dr. Sheila, you would like to share?
Okay, sure. So like what Dr. Wei Fu said, that I'm sure we are all no strangers to AI tools. Okay, we use it almost every day. So one, it definitely helped in improving writing quality. So AI tools such as ChatGPT can help in refining our grammar, our style, our clarity in research papers. Then this tool can suggest better word choices and sentences structure, making the writing more professional. I mean, we all have to admit, even for those who already excel in language skills, this is a game changer. Okay, it really helps. I mean, it helps save a lot of time, a lot of other things, which I'm going to touch soon. Okay, and also it helps us in generating ideas and content. So AI can assist in brainstorming and generating ideas for a research topic. For example, if you are stuck, we don't know how to start, we can start it off by using AI tools. Okay, so it can provide summaries of existing literature from various disciplines, helping researchers integrate diverse perspective. And of course, it provides cross-disciplinary insights. AI tools can actually analyze and summarize research across different fields, highlighting connections and potential interdisciplinary application. They can also suggest relevant theories, models, and methodologies from various disciplines. And this is also something that is very important, especially for research students, which is to enhance literature review. So AI can help conduct a comprehensive literature review by quickly scanning vast amounts of publication. So this can ensure researchers that we do not miss relevant studies from other fields rather than just searching on your own, right? And for collaboration facilitation, AI can identify potential collaborators by analyzing research interests and publication. It can also help facilitate networking by suggesting contacts and helping draft collaboration proposals. And data analysis and visualization, this is also something very important, especially for those work that we can't see using our naked eyes. So AI tools can aid in data analysis, offering insight that might not be apparent through traditional methods. So they can create visualizations that clearly communicate complex and interdisciplinary data. Okay, and this is also something that I think is very, very important, which is the language translation and accessibility. So AI can help translate research papers into multiple languages, broadening the reach of the work. So it can make research more accessible to non-native speakers, promoting wider collaboration. So I did my PhD and part of my postdoc in Japan. So what happened is the Japanese student can know, recognizing that English isn't their strong suit, what they will do is they will take research paper and translate it into their own language so that they can understand better. And I think, why not? Whatever that helps your work, right? Okay, and finally, time management and efficiency. So AI can automate routine tasks such as formatting references, saving researchers' time. So it can manage our workflow and deadline, ensuring efficient progress in research writing. Imagine nowadays if you don't have that. So I agree with what Dr. Wei Fu said just now. So during my time, also I did not have so many tools. I had to do it manually, which I'm of course very envious of nowadays. However, what I'm trying to do now is to embrace it into my work, into my teaching, into my research, into helping my students. And so far, we can see that it has been very helpful. But I also agree with the fact that we can't just use it blindly. For example, we just put the whole thesis into ChatGPT and take it back like that. It won't be good. We have to have the knowledge before using the tools. Okay, so I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Sheila. And Dr. Mansu?
Yeah, thank you. So if you see this question is very interesting question, okay, because the things are changing very fast. We have the new technology, ChatGPT and AI technologies and all. Okay, and I think we should take the help of these technologies. Okay, but at the same time, if you see the question, what is that? How can tools like GTP and other AI technologies aid researchers in enhancing their authoring skill? Right now, I think most of us or the attendees are from the science or engineering background. Okay, writing or authoring in sciences is entirely different than if you are from the social science or arts. It's totally different. If you want to write a science manuscript, for that the fundamentals are very, very important. As per my knowledge, as per my experience, if you don't have a very good fundamental knowledge in your field, then these tools will not help you. For that, what you need, you can draft, if you have the fundamental knowledge, you can draft a nice manuscript, and then you can take the help of these technologies to improve the language and the presentation and all. But these technologies is not going to help you to how to write. There will be no novelty, there will be no originality. What I have experienced, time being, I'm not expert in GPT, I'm not expert in the AI technology. But what I'm observing, I have some friends and you discuss with them. So if you want a novel ideas, if you want something new, okay, then you the first thing is that you should have the good knowledge or the fundamentals in your field. Only then these technologies can help you. So if you see my points here, what I've written here, these technologies are helpful if used wisely. That is very, very important here. It supports collaboration, yes, of course. Because, for example, in my case, I'm not expertise in ChatGPT or AI technologies. So if I want to take the help of the AI technologies, I approach my friends who are in the data sciences and all. And I do take their help. How to add more and more new things in our research. So how generally I utilize those things. For example, it helps in planning. But using the AI can help you how to plan. Okay, if you plan something different, that will be the novelty in your work. Executing experiments, how nicely you can execute the experiment. Then writing, of course, as I've told you that the ChatGPT and AI can help you in some, I will not say 100%, but to some extent in your writing. Then, of course, the publication, if you have new things in your publication, it will help you to publish your article in a good journal. It can help you to understand and the reactions. For example, we are from the chemistry, so we always talk about the reactions. Okay, I mean, even now, what we do, we plan the reaction and just we go in the lab and we do the reactions. That is the old approach. Okay, but nowadays we have the technologies, especially the AIs, for which we can predict whether this reaction is possible or not. Okay, if it's possible, what are the possible products? So there will be some. The more chance we can save our time, our money, and all. So these technologies can help in predicting the reactions or phenomenon, whatever you can say. So it can help to improve your writing skills, of course, as I've told you that, but not the scientific facts. As per my knowledge, it can polish your language, but the fundamentals that you have to come up with that. Then you can take the help of these technologies and it can help you. It can help to learn the language, especially the English language. I don't have any experience with the other language. Okay, whether these technologies can help or not, but of course, English is possible. It can help to develop and build fundamentals if used intelligently. And ChatGPT and AI are very useful technologies that can help further in development of the human beings. If we use these technologies, it can help us. Hope I have answered the questions.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Mansoor. I think the overall expression and overall the idea for us of using such AI tool, regardless it is a ChatGPT or other AI technologies, is still you need to have the fundamental fundamental knowledge so that you can use it wisely instead of bluntly follow whatever they give you. And I think this is also very important to not only early career researchers, but also to students, because sometimes we tend to, we tend to do everything very quickly so that we can spend time in other things that is more interesting, but we tend to forget that there's a lot of things and a lot of facts that need to be checked when we use tools like ChatGPT or other AI tools. So I guess these are very good advice for our participants to make them aware that such tools are actually very valuable, but there are still something needs to be bear in mind before they actually using them. So I guess we are using our time very wisely, but any questions, feel free to type in the chat box. And along the way, I think that we don't have any questions so far, but if there's any questions, feel free to either type in the chat box. But if you don't have that time at this moment, or you still manage or trying to organize your thoughts, feel free to digest a little bit and email to us at later stage. And our speakers, I'm sure that we will deliver them to any speakers that you would like to hear answer from, and then we will get back to you. So maybe last few remarks from our speakers. Dr. Sheila, would you like to, let's say, if I would like you to conclude like 3 takeaways for our audience, what would your takeaways be?
Okay, so my takeaway will be based on the 3 questions we discussed earlier on. So for me, cross-disciplinary skills are like the secret sauce for young researchers. They spark innovation, encourage teamwork, and supercharge problem solving. So it's not just about being a good writer. It's about bringing together diverse perspectives and knowledge. And let's not forget our AI friends, such as ChatGPT, who makes our lives easier by polishing our writing, generating fresh ideas, and helping us connect with others. So embracing these skills and tools is like adding rocket fuel to our research. It is bound to take us to new heights. So I think that will be my concluding remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Sheila. And what about Dr. Mansu? What's your takeaway to our audience?
Yeah. So, in my opinion, I think for beginners, and not only the beginners, even for the experienced people, the cross-disciplinary is very, very important. Because in our case, for example, even though if you're developing some material, we need the application. And in most of the cases, what happens, we cannot do each and every application in our own laboratories. We have to get someone either from the chemistry or from the engineering or from the biology, depending on the material that we are developing. So cross-disciplinary skills or approach or collaboration is very, very important. I would like to add here one more thing that because we're talking about the young researcher, and for example, the PhD students and all, everyone as depending on the universities, everyone has to publish 1 or 2 articles. Only then they will be allowed to submit their thesis. We can say that is the requirement. Okay, yeah. So of course the pressure will be there, but if you follow the standard things, procedure and all, so I don't think that it will be challenged. Okay, so the only thing what I'll suggest the young researcher is that try to clear your fundamentals. Okay, if you know the fundamental of the subject, it will be easier. Hope I have answered.
Thank you, Dr. Mansu. And what's your takeaway, Dr. Wei Fu?
Well, 3 takeaways. First one is that always think multidisciplinary, always think cross-disciplinary. You go by that way, whatever you think, whatever you do, going to be quite impactful to the world. And leverage on whatever you have, because you are so fortunate and lucky, definitely better than me. When life at the time you have to carry journal from one end to another end to do photocopying. I don't think you ever live life like that. The second thing is AI. Yep, it's going to be something that very useful, but please know how to use it correctly. Be careful when you use ChatGPT. Always look out for the source. Make sure there's a reference. Make sure there's a source. Check it out. This guy are very deceiving at times. It's just the way it works. It's not they're trying to cheat you, but you are the one who's using it. So make your own decision. Lastly, be a dreamer. Be courageous. Young people, you have the advantage. Not like old men like me, always so worried about what next for tomorrow. I guess you have to be courageous and let's go ahead and chase the rainbow. I'm pretty sure you'll be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wei Fu, and thank you all our speakers for the advice and also the sharing. And thank you very much for all our participants for joining in. And as I just said, any questions, feel free to ask after this event. And also, we would like to hear your thoughts about how what's your feedback about our discussion, about the topic, and also how about the organization of this event. So feel free to scan the QR codes or use the URL to share your thoughts. And we are going to have our third PPP event in the coming months, and more information will be shared to you. So feel free to join and also to tune into our information later. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Sheila, Dr. Mansu, and Dr. Wei Fu, and all our participants today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Iris. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day.